Good morning, Canvas kids. Look who I've got with me this morning. Dudley wanted to say hi. It's been a while since we've seen you, Dudley. Thought he'd pop in and just give you all a howdy do. I'll set him right there. He'll hang with us today. Well, guys, we are ready to start a brand new series together, and I cannot tell you how excited I am about it. It is centered on two different passages, and they are both two of my absolute favorite passages. I think I say that about everything. I love the Bible. Can you tell? Just about everything I read in there, I love. Every once in a while, I come across something that seems a little dry, but oh well. Like genealogies. Although I've really learned to appreciate genealogies. They teach us a lot of things. Okay, this series is called 9 Flavors, 1 Fruit. We are going to be discussing the fruit of the Spirit. And this is a really interesting and revealing series. Their parents are going to be learning about it right alongside you. So you and your parents will have a lot of good things to talk about. We are going to start today with just an introduction. We're not going to dive into the fruit just yet. We're going to talk about a bigger concept first. But some things for our virtual class here are going to change a little bit for this series. And so I want to talk you through some of those changes. You'll notice that I'm not singing, and I'm not going to be singing for this series. Your worship will be embedded in a video series that we're going to look into. So on our resources page that you'll find, you'll have a couple options for lessons. One of the lessons is designed for older kids, say maybe 2nd, 3rd, 4th grade. And then the other lesson is geared for preschool, kindergarten, maybe 1st grade. And so you'll pick which one you think is best for you. And maybe you'll want to watch both of them. I don't know. And then in those videos, there will be worship within it. So you won't have to suffer through Miss Heather singing this time around. But it's important to me that you do the worship. So when the video gets to that point and it's, it has you stand up or it has you singing, I hope that you will be singing, and the songs for each of the sets, like the preschool set and the elementary set lesson, isn't the same music all the time. So maybe you will want to watch both and do the worship along with both videos. We'll see. Well, I am going to tell you a story about when I was in high school. My sophomore year of high school, we did a musical called Godspell. And Godspell is a fun and energetic musical that tells the story of Jesus's time on earth with his disciples and then his crucifixion and resurrection. And it's really fun. It's got a lot of great music. It's very 70s-ish in its style. And so it was fun. We got to wear tie-dye and I don't know. It was probably one of my favorite musical experiences ever. I've done a lot of them, and that was one of my favorites. Well, there's a scene in the musical when the character of Jesus is performing for his disciples the parable of the sower. Now, we know this parable. We did this in our previous series. We learned about the scattering of the seeds and the different kinds of soil. We learned that Jesus was teaching us about our heart condition. Well, in the parable, or in the scene in the musical, we get to act like plants. Like we kind of act out the scene, the plants that withered because they didn't have roots and all the different things. We got to act that out. And so the last one, or maybe the second last one, the pretend farmer, the character who was pretending to be the farmer, had scattered the seeds, and I was supposed to shoot up and be the plant that was unable to bear fruit because I wasn't rooted in the soil well, and therefore I wasn't able to produce whatever fruit I was supposed to produce because my soil situation wasn't right. So my job on stage was to shoot up when they announced my seeds and dance around, and then the the farmer was supposed to say something about this plant can bear no fruit. And I was supposed to stop dancing and wither and die. But I didn't understand. I was very intimidated by the director. Her name was Lynn, and she scared the bejeebers out of me because she was so, I don't know, I just didn't want to do it wrong. And so I was trying to do my dancing part, and I didn't understand that I was supposed to stop and die. And so the girl who played the farmer, she kept yelling, "No fruit, Heather. No fruit, Heather." She was trying to give me my cue to stop dancing around. And I'm dancing. And she found, "No fruit, Heather." And then Lynn cut us off and was like, "What's going on, Heather? Why are you not dying?" And I felt very embarrassed, especially because the guy that played Jesus, oh my goodness, girls, I had the biggest crush on him. He was a senior, I was a sophomore. He had an amazing voice, and he was playing Jesus. I don't know a better combo. But he was there, and I was like making this big mistake and looking like a fool in front of the fake Jesus. The real Jesus thought I was hilarious. He was probably laughing and finding joy in my mistake. But all the cast members decided to call me No Fruit Heather. So for the rest of the year, I was No Fruit Heather. That was my name. That's what they called me. It was an embarrassing story, but I guess I'll never forget the parable of the sower because of that. So I'm telling you that story because we are going to review really quickly. Well, that was my review, I suppose, of the parable of the sower. In order to understand where we're headed, I wanted to revisit that idea that Jesus was teaching us that the soil that we have, our heart condition, needs to be ready to receive the seed, the word of God, so that we can then grow and become the big full plant that does bear fruit. So that when someone comes along and picks the apple or pulls the grapes from the vine, whatever kind of fruit we are, there's something for them to take from it. And so that's a base understanding that we want to have before we head into the introduction for our next lesson. Now you're going to find a video, a link there to a video called Vine and Branches. So I'm going to send you off to watch that video. It's very short. We'll come back and we're going to talk a little bit about the vine and the branches and then see how it points to where we're headed next. I'll see you after the video.